Hello and welcome to Tome of Uselessness. I'm Devin.
I'm Dan.
And today we're talking about Knives Out.
Yeah.
But first, stuff we liked this week.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, did you like anything?
Yeah, okay, I got a few things here. I mentioned in the solo episode I was doing, I've been reading some Stargate novels. I finished another one of those. It was called Do No Harm. It's good stuff. Like I said, I don't think they're very high level reading, and it's just Stargate adventure, good fun.
Cool.
I finished the second book, which was the sequel to Red Sparrow.
Oh, okay.
And I'm reading currently the third one in the trilogy. It's called Palace of Treason. It was really good. It is good spy stuff. It was an interesting story and just how they kind of what they're doing and what have you. And like I said about it when I did a solo recording about it, is it's spy stuff in the modern day.
Right.
So it's not just Russia in the Cold War. So
that's cool.
Yeah. So it's
although
enjoyable.
I don't know, wouldn't modern day stuff be Russia anyways?
Well, that's exactly it. It's Russia. No, but I mean just technology wise and methods and stuff like that. It's not just Cold War. But it's very much. He published them quite recently.
Gotcha. You got Trump stuff in it.
There's a little bit in the third one here that I've been reading. I also finished Mr. Robot Season 1 just recently, and it was good. Do you plan on watching Mr. Robot?
Probably not.
Okay, well, spoilers for if you haven't watched Mr. Robot yet, because I wasn't expecting it, because I didn't think they would do it, because I figured it would be too cliche.
Yeah.
But they went Fight Club on it, where one of the characters isn't
in its
real.
head?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I guess. So I wasn't expecting that, but I also, like I said, I didn't think people would do that.
Because everybody, Don't they do that in Joker, too?
Well, kind of.
Yeah.
It's more it's just his hallucinations, not it's a whole. He's not anyway. It's a whole thing. But this, it goes full on Fight Club. With it. So, but I'll continue on and watch season 2.
Cool.
So I did enjoy the season, and the show was far different than I was expecting. So it was good.
Was it about hackers?
It's about hackers. Yes.
Is it like The Matrix?
Well, it's like the hackers from the 90s.
I tried to watch The Matrix the other day and I got bored halfway through and turned it off.
Really?
Yeah.
I think the first Matrix still holds up, just because there's not as much CG in it.
But if you get bored, though,
Oh, sure.
It gets boring.
Okay, fair enough.
I got bored right after the article. I was like, nah. Nah.
Fair enough. And then the last thing this was recommended to me by a friend of mine, and it was called Hunting Warhead, which was a 6-part CBC podcast about... Okay, so it's...
I love CBC podcasts, just on a side note.
Fair enough.
They're really well done.
Yeah, so this was about a hacker in Norway who got interested in stopping revenge porn. And so he developed a program to track metadata of pictures being swapped around on the internet. Then he stumbled onto child abuse material. Oh, shit. And then he got in contact with the newspaper that is the biggest one in Norway, and there's one reporter who's been doing that kind of stuff for, ever. Got in contact with him, and then they exposed, people that were doing it in Norway, and as the program was still running, they found that there was a server being run out of Australia. So they traveled to the server farm, found the server guy who owns the place, and was like, dude, this is going on and what's up? And then they contacted the owners, and then it turned out that the owners were called Project Argos, which was the cops. And the cops were running the biggest website in the dark web for this material. And so he's like, what the hell's up? And then it turned out, so the main not twist, but what happened is that they arrested three people, but the one who was running and owned that site was a Canadian guy. And they took the site over from him. And then continued to run it to then entrap and capture other people who were changing all this child abuse material.
Holy shit, that sounds intense.
It's very intense because then he goes on, so the CBC guy then interviews people who knew him, the Canadian guy, and interviews the Canadian guy in jail.
Oh my god.
And then they go to his trial sentencing and stuff like that.
Holy shit.
It was brutal. It was only 6 parts.
What's it called again?
So Hunting Warhead, because his name was Warhead on the site. His username.
Okay, I'm gonna download this later. It sounds like something I'd enjoy.
It was intense, I will not lie, and like even after I finished it on Friday, a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you're just, it's just like, what is this? So
nice.
It was an intense, but it was very interesting and well researched.
Yeah, the CBC does great podcasts.
Because he co-produced it with that reporter I was talking about. I think it was Einar. From the Norwegian newspaper, and so they go back and forth, like tons of material and well put together. The only thing I will say about, because I've listened to a couple podcasts that come from like say news agencies and stuff like that, is they always add a lot of like sound effects and etc. and all sorts of like flourishes, which obviously we don't because it's just the two of us having talking. Yeah, and in the first episode it was to the point where I was like annoyed.
Oh.
But in the subsequent episodes it was lessened. I think it was just because like every time they said something, he's like, I'm gonna have to backtrack and explain this, and then do a flourish and a flourish back, I was just like, dude. But anyway, that's the minor complaint, I guess. But anyway, good stuff.
Enough.
So that was some
cool.
stuff I enjoyed. Hunting Moorhead was an intense 6-parter.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. Are they like hour-long episodes?
About that, yeah. Some plus, some minus, but about that.
Cool.
What about yourself, Devin? Anything?
Okay, so I haven't been on this for a while.
Yeah.
So let's talk about everything.
Okay.
I guess working backwards, I saw Frozen 2.
Oh, did you? Oh, yeah.
I did. I liked it.
Oh, cool.
It was a little bit like Frozen is a better movie. It's tighter and it like has a clearer sense of what it is.
Right.
Frozen 2 could have benefited from being 20 minutes longer because it was so much information that it was a breakneck speed, but it was more action-packed. It was a lot darker.
Oh, really?
Oh my god, every character has like an existential crisis in it. And
it's tapping into the zeitgeist of the time. Oops.
And we get like the reveal of Elsa's powers and stuff like that. So it was good.
Cool.
What else? I watched The Crown season 3. As good as a darker season. Olivia Colman took over from Claire Foy as Queen Elizabeth.
Right.
And she's excellent. Also, Helena Bonham Carter plays Princess Margaret, and she's excellent. It's not my favorite season, but it was good. I watched John Wick 2 on the plane back from Mexico.
Yeah, right.
And I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, like I said,
it's an action movie with Keanu Reeves.
It's on the list for me.
It was really good. Like, it wasn't as good as John Wick.
Really?
Because, like, the first one, like Frozen, it's just, like, a more compact story. And the second one was, like, okay, well, this is the world.
Yeah.
And we need to make situations that'll look really cool. Yeah. So how do we get to that point? But overall, I really enjoyed it.
Cool.
Oh, I watched Drag Race UK.
Right, because you were finishing that up, right?
Yeah, that was good. The Vivian one, I wanted Bag of Chips to win. But it doesn't really matter because they're all going to get 1 million Instagram followers from it. They'll be fine.
Yeah, okay.
I think, what else? I feel like there's more, but I can't remember. I watched Nailed It Season 3. I love Nailed It Holiday Season Special.
Yeah.
Like Nicole Byers. She's very funny. I don't know. I think that's it. Is there more? Did I see more?
If it's possible. Did you read something?
No. I did. Actually, I read Harlequin Romance when I went to Mexico.
Classy.
Yeah, it was great. Let me tell you about it because the main character... Okay, first of all, it was called... Crime in Colorado at Christmas.
Oh, so some alliteration going
on. All the keywords.
Yeah.
And it was about a girl whose roommate who looks identical to her got murdered.
Oh.
It was because she was in a trial where she convicted somebody of robbery. She was like on the jury.
Okay, yeah.
And then the guy went to jail and then he was murdered in jail. So his family members were hunting down everyone from the jury and killing them.
All right, yeah.
Because that makes no sense.
That was a revenge thing, you know.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
Because like he had cancer. His brother had cancer. That's why he was killing everybody on the tree.
Oh, okay.
Whatever. But the best part is that a handsome cowboy policeman
Sure.
comes in to save the day to like, because he's been like following this case because his friend from when he was in Afghanistan got murdered. So we have and he's a billionaire, but
What?
he's a policeman because he's a good person. So he is. Just to recap.
Cowboy billionaire policeman?
Cowboy billionaire.
Veteran
Policeman.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what? If we threw single dad in there, he'd hit every box.
Invested right in the stocks, in them tech stocks, and he's
No, inherited wealth.
Oh, okay.
But he's just such a good person.
Right. That doesn't jive right with inherited wealth, from what I understand.
Yeah, so I read that.
Okay. Fair enough.
I feel like I watched I can't remember that. My brain's fried.
That's alright.
But yes, that's what I enjoyed this week. I recommend Frozen and John Wick 2.
Yeah.
And actually, I recommend all of it. Go read Crime Colorado Christmas.
But you did also watch Knives Out.
I did.
As did I.
And I liked it.
Yeah, I did too.
And a podcast.
Well, I think we should get into a little more of those.
That's fair.
Written and directed by Rian Johnson, everyone's favorite Star Wars director.
Yeah, I really felt like they needed more casino planets in this movie.
It was so crazy watching this, knowing that his previous movie was Star Wars, that I was like, this movie makes perfect sense and is well written. What the hell happened?
Right?
Yeah.
I think he was mad at Star Wars.
Or he went crazy with power or something.
No, I think he was mad.
That's possible.
He wanted to get even.
The budget for it was $40 million. We're recording after its first release, so I don't really have any box office figures, so can't really say anything about that.
Can I tell you what my favorite part of this movie was?
Well, I suppose, yeah, unless you want
No, it's not a spoiler.
Yeah, okay, sure.
The house.
The house was really great, yeah.
The house was so cool. We haven't explained any of the plots. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
But the house, the atmosphere that it created was so cool. I would even though I enjoyed the movie, I would recommend just going and watching it for the visuals because the set design and everything was cool.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to summarize the story or should I take it? Yeah,
so
go for it, yeah.
Old man
Christopher Plummer.
has much money
Sure.
because he's a writer.
Yeah.
And you know that all writers make money.
Some do, apparently.
All writers are millionaires.
Yeah.
Anyways, he's a writer. He has a house. And it's his 85th birthday party where his nurse, his 3 children,
Yeah, I think it's 3 of them.
and his grandchildren are all there.
Yeah.
And
Tony Collette's his son's...
So he had 4 kids,
She's an
but
in-law, or she's an in-law,
she's
sorry.
an in-law.
Yeah.
She's widowed.
Yes, widowed. Yes.
Widowed in-law. So they have a party, and the next day he's found with his throat slit in his study.
Yes.
Someone, we don't know who, has hired James Bond,
Daniel Craig, yeah.
Benoit
Blanc.
to have a really crappy fake accent.
I know, it's so funny because Daniel Craig's a good actor, and I'm just like, why is he doing a southern accent?
Why is he Foghorn Leghorn?
But anyway.
They hired him to have a bad accent.
Roll with it, yeah.
Because he's a private detective.
Yes.
And to come solve the murder, even though the police think it's a suicide.
Yeah.
How's that for summary?
This is good, yeah.
Yes.
It's good stuff, yeah. Yeah, so as mentioned, Daniel Craig playing Benoit Blanc, the detective. You got Chris Evans in there.
Yeah, he was
Ransom. Yeah, he was. Ana de Armas, she was Marta, the nurse.
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis plays his eldest, Linda.
Jamie Lee Curtis was also great in this.
Yeah.
Actually, the whole cast I thought was really
I think the whole cast did really well, yeah. Michael Shannon played Walt, who was his son.
I also really enjoyed Toni Collette in this role because it seems so different for her to be like an airhead influencer.
Yeah.
Lifestyle brand.
Her name was Joni. Don Johnson played Linda's husband. He was married to her. Richard. And then you got Lakeith Stanfield. He played Lieutenant Elliot, was like the the cop.
Yeah.
The detective, sorry, on the case. And then Christopher Plummer was Harlan Thrombey. And there's some other varying peoples in there.
The Toni Collette's daughter.
Yeah.
Is the girl that kills herself in 13 Reasons Why.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Hannah in that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what she was named in the movie.
Meg.
Possibly Hannah.
I think it was Meg.
It was Meg, you're right.
Or was that the maid?
No, she was Meg.
She was Meg, yeah.
I think somebody else was Hannah. Hannah seems like a name that would be in that movie.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I enjoyed it, and well, maybe I'll save that comment for later in the spoilers. But yeah, it was cool. I liked how it, classic whodunit, and here's all these people, and here's kind of what happened, and I like how they all had like similar but just different enough recollections of the party. Like they're all beside Christopher Plummer.
Yeah, when they're with the cake. Yeah, in their memories.
Their memories and how they're telling the story, and just like how it all kind of sequentially developed until like, they all kind of gave their blurb, and then they all kind of were like, "Who the heck are you, Daniel Craig?" And then he gets into it with all of them. Like it was
so well that brought on one of my favorite lines in the movie when Toni Collette was like, "Oh, I read a tweet about an article that somebody wrote about you."
I read the headline of the New Yorker article about you, and then it flashes to like Jamie Lee Curtis. She's like, "Yeah, I read that New Yorker article."
Yeah. But the fact that she like read the tweet, read the headline in a tweet was just like.
Yeah, no, I like that as well. And they even it was an element I didn't think it was going to come up so much, but like there's like the one kid who's like the alt-right troll essentially.
Oh my god, yeah, that was hilarious.
And then the granddaughter who was like the liberal college lady or whatever. They have some banter about that back and forth here and there, which I thought was pretty. And the kid's literally on his phone like the entire movie.
I was a little nervous going into the movie because I like murder mysteries a lot. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the times when you get a star-studded cast, and for some reason specifically with murder mysteries, I'm thinking of Murder on the Orient Express.
I was about to say Orient Express, yeah.
Which I was so excited to go see, and then I was like, what is this movie, and why did they make it?
Sure.
So I was really concerned that it would just be a mess, and it wasn't. No. It was great. I felt that they split up the screen time in a pretty like even way that made sense to the movie, because like that was one of the things in Orient Express that I was kind of like, what the fuck, why did you even hire this person, is that like every character was maybe on screen for 5 minutes,
right,
and then the rest of it was just all about Poirot, who's played by Kenneth directed the first Thor movie but has a Shakespearean background and he thinks he's the like cat's ass.
Sure.
So it was nice to see like an ensemble of kind of big recognizable names working working well together.
Yeah, and I think like I was saying as well that it was shockingly written well and edited well, so that it all kind of really did balance out, and there was appropriate setups to payoffs in the later story.
Oh, for sure.
Where it wasn't just like, oh, that came out of nowhere. It was like, oh no, that was referenced or it was mentioned or there was something on screen that could lead you to this, and I was like, who made this movie?
The guy that wrote The Last Jedi.
Yeah, that's what doesn't make sense. But anyway, I don't want to keep going back to that point.
He's mad at Star Wars.
I don't want to keep going back to it.
Listen, there is a good movie in Last Jedi.
Sure.
We're derailing for a second.
It's not the one we saw.
It's not the one we saw. They cut out the casino planet.
It's a start.
That's step one. Yeah. They downplayed Poe Dameron because he's just stupid and annoying, and I really like that actor, but he's dumb in Star Wars.
No, but even the plot...
Nope. I'm not done yet.
Sorry.
Third is that Luke just had to retreat to go live by himself because he was like, nobody should be able to use the Force, it's too powerful.
Sure.
Okay, right? And then that's why Kylo Ren goes evil, because he has no one to fucking guide him.
Sure.
All of this makes more sense. Everything else in the movie could have stayed the same. If they just changed those things, it would have been like 50 times better.
Yeah, well, and I don't know, just like the plot and ideas in The Last Jedi are more convoluted than the plot in this, and this is a convoluted murder mystery. You know?
Yeah.
It's like,
oh yeah.
but so anyway, I don't know. Before
Last Jedi is a waste.
I don't want to keep ragging on that, but
it's a waste.
I think most of the stuff I want to say is probably like spoiler-esque. So
yeah. Okay, we're getting into spoilers now.
Definitely enjoyed it.
This is the spoiler bell.
Yeah,
Ding,
I
ding,
enjoyed
ding.
it, and would say go check it out for sure if you want to feel like watching a murder mystery.
I agree. So let's get into spoilers. Spoiler time.
First thing for me was I thought it was interestingly POV'd in that normally these kind of movies are always the detective.
Yes.
This was Marta.
Yes.
And it was through her that we're watching and learning everything essentially in the movie. Pretty
quickly into the film, we find out that Marta has given Rex... Harlan. Christopher Plummer. Yeah. Morphine instead of the drug that he needed.
Yeah.
And it was an amount that would kill him.
Yes.
She didn't have the Noxolon in her bag, in her nurse's bag.
Yeah.
And they were too far away for the police to arrive, or the ambulance to arrive to save her.
Because he's only got about 10 minutes to live after that injection.
10 minutes, because he did 100 milliliters.
Yeah, 100 milligrams. When's the normal dosage? 3? Oh, significantly more.
So we find that out, that she accidentally killed him.
Yes.
And he comes up in this 10 minutes with an elaborate plan to make sure that she doesn't go to jail because she has a mother who's undocumented
and a sister
who's undocumented, and he wants to make sure that he thinks she's a nice person, which she is, and he wants to make sure that she and her family are safe.
Yeah.
So we get the plan.
Yeah. And that's, like I said, that's why it was so interesting that it was like
and she goes through with it because it's his dying wish.
Because it's his dying wish. And I thought it would have been cool to maybe learn more of that maybe later, because then it would have been like, what's Margaret doing? It was a little more shady, and then it would have been like revealed that it was like, oh no, because it was almost like immediately after the interviews the family and this and that, and then it's like, blammo, here's the murder. So I was like, it's interesting, and it's told in a different way, which I appreciated. Yeah. But I was just kind of like, it could have been a little, because even the part where he slits his throat was at least a little bit later, because I was like, oh, maybe someone came back, like and then cut his throat or something like that. But it was like, no, she saw him do it. Yeah. And I was like, oh shit.
So here's part of the reason why I liked this the way it is, because the whole movie I thought, oh my god, what a fucking idiot. Why did he show us how he did it right away, right? Like, why did he just tell us? And then there's that twist at the end, which makes sense.
Yes.
And then I was like, oh, he bamboozled me. And that's, like, rare in a movie, right? Like, so I didn't mind that we got, like, not false information, but we got information from her point of view. And, the
bulk of the story, as it were. But like I said, I did like how that was, like, she was our protagonist, not Daniel Craig.
Oh, totally. Me too. Like, you know what's weird is, like, she's barely in any of the trailers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I also liked how it was set up, how in a classic murder mystery, kind of a la Poirot or those other ones, the whole family, except for Linda, essentially had a motive to kill him.
Yeah.
Because she was the only one that was like, she's like, no, I got a weird relationship with him, but like, she didn't have any real reason to kill him.
Yeah, so Linda had no reason.
Yeah.
But
everyone else
I want to go through all the motives.
Sure, had a motive, essentially.
Linda's husband was cheating on her.
Yes.
And Harlan had proof.
And Linda has like a prenup. She built the business, and Richard has like no assets on his own.
Oh, I went to the bathroom at that.
Oh yeah, he's essentially got nothing. It's all her.
It's all her.
So he doesn't want the relationship to end.
Right. So he had proof, and he told Richard that if he didn't tell Linda, he was going to tell her the day after the party.
Yes.
Okay, so that's one. Walt runs a publishing company that Harlan built. And Walt wanted to do more movie deals, I guess.
Yeah, movie and TV
Netflix
deals.
And shit.
Yeah, with the books that his father wrote.
Yeah. Harlan didn't want to do that.
No adaptations.
So he let him know the night of his birthday party that he was going to be fired.
Yeah, he was going to let him go.
He was going to let him go so he could do his own thing.
Yeah.
Ransom, we find out later, was getting cut off because he was basically getting allowance.
Yeah, like trust fund baby it up.
Trust fund, yeah.
Yeah. Also was being cut out of the will.
Oh, and yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we find that out later, but, yeah. So, and then, who else was there? Oh, Joni was, she was accepting money for her daughter's tuition, but she was scamming him and accepting it twice, and he found out.
She was double dipping.
Double dipping, yeah.
She was like, oh, you gotta wire the money to school. Oh, no, you gotta wire it to me so I can wire it to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
No, I think that's everybody. Like I said, just aside from Linda, who didn't really have a motive.
Yeah, alt-right troll didn't have a motive.
Yeah.
And Meg didn't have a motive.
No.
Because she didn't really know what was going on with her tuition either.
That's correct, yeah. But like I said, I did like that factor that everyone had a motive of some sort.
It was good.
And then you're like, oh, what's going on? And then, like, that was an element until we saw the death that it was kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But,
So then, about halfway through the movie, the will's revealed.
Yes.
So
right, and then the big twist.
Yeah, so they go to do the will reading, and everybody, it's so funny because Marta's his nurse, basically full-time, but she's more his friend than...
Yeah, we get some scenes of, like, her hanging out with
Harlan.
With Harlan.
Yeah. And he rewrote his will a week before his birthday, and so... The solicitor hasn't even seen it.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know, it's sealed.
What's in here. Yeah. So he reads it out to the family, and it turns out that none of his assets, the house, the publishing company, are going to any of his children. They are all going to Marta.
Yeah.
And so before that, the family's like super nice to Marta. Like, we're going to take care of you. Don't worry about it. We're family.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, they just turn on her.
Yeah, basically, like, almost immediately.
They're like, are you sleeping with him?
What did you do? And then they're all like, she has to renounce the will and all this stuff.
But it also kind of gives Marta a motive at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then also it becomes like an issue because then it's like the lawyer, like they're talking about, they're like, well, what if it's proved she did do something wrong or she's involved in his death in some way, then the will be like annulled. And so it's like, because the whole time Marta has been following the plan essentially to cover up the fact of what happened.
Yeah, and then like, curveball.
And then so there's more tension about that. Because even the part where she's like, you know, walking with Daniel Craig and stuff like that, and then she's like, gets the video cassette, scrambles it, and sees the footprints and
the surveillance tape. She like scrambles it, and then she like walks over the footprints.
Yeah. And then goes back and forth. And yeah, I don't know. Like I said, there was some good stuff there. I just felt like near the ending it was gonna be. It got a little too predictable, but it was also because I think it was just like coming to the crescendo that it's like it's got to wrap up in a satisfying, make sense way. Otherwise, it wouldn't be satisfying. It would be like, dude, you spent this whole time setting all these things up, and then
nothing happened. Yeah. So after the will's read, she has to kind of get away because they're being very aggressive. Yeah. And Ransom helps her out.
Yeah.
And she reveals.
Well, yeah, because Marta she can't lie. If she lies, she gets sick.
The cute quirk.
Yeah, very cute quirk. And then so he takes her out to lunch, and then he's like, okay, so what really happened?
After he eats a bunch of...
Yeah. Which I thought was cool. So she tells him, lets him know in the plan.
Yeah.
And then he's all like, okay, you're going to keep doing it. I'll help you out.
He's like, I'm going to help you. This is what Harlan wanted. Yeah. Good guy.
Totally good guy.
Just the best. Totally not.
Until the obvious reveal that Chris Evans is a bad guy.
No!
I know. What are you doing? But because here was my thing with it is, so it's revealed that it was like he swapped the labels on the medication, so she would think she gave him morphine versus not, etc. But because she was so used to the medicine, she gave him the right medicine.
Yeah.
And so nothing actually bad had happened until he cut his own throat.
Yeah.
Which I was like, brutal.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking the whole time, like I was saying previously, that...
And he stole the Nakanuko.
What's that?
Yeah, and
he stole the Nexalon, from the Nox.
I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, but
Naloxone.
Yeah. Yeah, he stole that so that she couldn't save him if she even realized the problem.
Yeah.
But like that's what I was saying is that I thought this was gonna go in that direction, a la Orient Express or other kind of murder mysteries where almost all of them had a hand in it, but he had already killed himself essentially beforehand, or like, you know, it was like, but they still came along and then like did something or got there and was like, oh shit, and then bailed out, and so they were all still covering up themselves, right, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I thought that was gonna kind of be a element to it, but it wasn't.
It was
all just Chris Evans and Marta.
And Marta.
Yeah.
I'm jumping ahead a bit.
Sure.
But you know at the very end when all the kids are standing outside and she's on the porch?
Yeah.
There was such a Wes Anderson-y feeling shot to me, hey?
Oh, really? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because it does pull back and you see them all on the ground or up there on the porch.
With her, like, my house, my rules, my coffee mug.
Yeah. I liked it as well just because it was all like, you know, they're all looking up at her expectantly and she's just up there and it's like, we don't know how she's going to play it or whatever, right?
No, totally. Sorry.
No, that's okay, because even she has a conversation with Meg where Meg's like, I don't know what we're going to do, and she's like, I'll take care of you, don't worry about it. And even like all the characters, actually, like Walt approaches her.
Yeah, one of my favorite scenes is when Walt approaches her kind of like, and it's very menacing.
Very.
Where he's like, you know, oh, I hope nothing bad happens to your mother, but I have resources.
Yeah.
And then you think she's going to cower a bit, and then she's like, oh, well, good thing I inherited all those things. So
all those resources.
Your resources are my resources.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, basically she just like starts standing up for herself, right?
Yeah, that's good.
After she does get the pet from Chris Evans essentially, but then she's just like, nope, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And I did like the scene with her sister because she's like, they're on the news and she's like, are we rich? And she's like, I don't know. And she's just like, so we're rich?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I thought that was a good interaction. And yeah, because we get a few scenes with her and
the
her
sister
family.
was actually kind of hilarious, like when it's a mom and Marta, and it was before we know that Marta killed him.
Yeah.
It's mom and Marta and her sister in the kitchen, and her sister's watching like crime shows.
Yeah, you can hear like, oh, the murder is this, and they chop their hands off. It's all like
so good.
Yeah. And then the mother's all like, her friend just died.
Yeah.
She's like, there's only 2 minutes left. They get into a big argument about it. Yeah, I thought that was good stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Just like I said earlier, I thought there was just good setups for a lot of things that then occurred later on. Of course, the climax of the movie, how Christopher Plummer has that great line about, he's like, oh, Ransom and I were so the same, can't tell a real prop from a fake one, and vice versa kind of thing.
Yeah.
And at the end, he grabs a knife trying to kill Marta, and it's a fake knife.
And it's a fake knife, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was a bit over the top.
Yeah.
But I did like he was like, in for a penny, in for a pound, time to kill you.
Basically.
In front of cops.
In front of cops. Well, he'd already admitted to one murder.
Yeah. It's like, might as well.
Yeah. I thought there was going to be like a classic, like, she somehow had a knife as well.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then, like as she fell, she managed to grab one and then stabbed him. He stabbed her, but, you know, they're both not going to die from it, but just enough to be like, you got stabbed.
No, I thought it was going to be a fake knife.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see the fake knife coming. That one got me.
I loved that knife sculpture, though. They all did their, like, murder interviews. Yeah. It was really cool. It's like a big, in case you haven't seen it, it was like a big circle of knives.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Almost like a sunburst.
Floating. Yeah, it was like a knife sunburst.
Yeah. And I liked the, how the one cop.
Do you think Rian Johnson just saw that
somewhere
sculpture and was like, I'm writing a movie around this?
It's possible. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, because he has done previously sort of a murder-esque mystery one. I think it's called Brick.
Oh, I don't know. I know he did Looper.
And he did Looper. And then after that, you got thrust into Star Wars.
then The Last Jedi for some reason.
But, so I don't know. It could be an idea he'd had for a while and then, you know, put it on hold and stuff.
The only good part of the Casino Planet was, what's his name?
When it ended?
No.
Benicio del Toro?
Yeah.
Of course. Well, because he's a great actor.
Yeah, I just want a movie of him.
Yeah.
If he gets a spin-off in Disney Plus, I'll watch that.
See, that's the problem.
Just him swindling people.
Yeah, that could be an interesting story, but it's just like...
Yeah. Maybe he'll show up in that Obi-Wan show starring Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, well, and
a hologram.
If they made like a $50 million, not even $50 million, say $45 to $50 million movie about a Benicio del Toro kind of character in like doing some shady stuff,
With no Jedis.
Yeah, it doesn't have to have any Jedis at all. It's like...
No lightsabers.
You just do like a small thing about him doing a thing. It'd probably make money.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, like, and you...
Listen, Rian Johnson. I have a business proposition for you.
No, but that's what I'm saying is that, like, Star Wars doesn't always have to be, like, this big, ginormous thing, and then they keep on sinking so much money into a story that people don't really want to see.
Yeah.
And it's like...
Star Wars.
Just do something smaller, guys. It's okay.
They should combine it with Lord of the Rings. Then you could have space elves. Wait, don't listen to me, Disney.
Sure, there are space elves in there.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm getting distracted today.
So, yeah, it was... Like I said, it was just kind of all becoming kind of linear-ish when we're following just Marta and Ransom. And then they go... Yeah, she goes and then finds the maid who's been poisoned. And then...
Yes, because the maid got a copy of the autopsy report, even though she didn't understand it, but the autopsy report basically...
The tox report, yeah.
Yeah, made it so that Marta wouldn't go to jail because it didn't have the morphine inside of it.
That's right, proved there was no morphine.
Yeah, so he did end up committing suicide.
Yes.
Marta was innocent. Everybody was happy.
Yeah.
The end.
Except for, yeah, so the plot was Chris Evans did swap the labels, but Marta still put the correct medicine in him, and she wanted to call an ambulance anyway.
Yeah, and if she had, he would be alive.
He would be alive.
But he told her not to.
Well, and then he went back and then re-swapped out the bottles or whatever, right? Like,
right, yeah.
So that's why he missed the funeral, but the maid saw him do it.
Yes.
So she didn't know what the plan was, but she was like, something shady happened.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so she tried to, like, blackmail him. And
That's right. And then he passed that blackmail on to Marta.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a whole shebang.
Yeah, and that, like I said, it was sequential and it made sense.
Yeah, and then Marta was about to like confess to the family.
Yes.
And then Daniel Craig stops her in his ridiculous accent. I'm sorry, that's hard to get past.
It really is, and like it's just so different that it's like I'm sure he could pull off just like normal American.
Yeah, but...
Because British people can. But, like, why go with, like, the southern accent?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like, it was like a parody of... It would be like a Saturday Night Live version of a southern accent.
Yeah, well, and here's my thing is, he wasn't bad at the accent. It's just, like, it doesn't make sense to have the accent in the movie almost. You know what I mean?
I went and saw it with my brother, and he was like, why did he have a mental breakdown halfway through the movie? Why is he just always talking about donuts and singing on his iPod? It's like it's a donut within a donut. Yeah. There's a hole.
His analogy got a little off there.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, he did kind of have a breakdown halfway through the movie.
Yeah. Well, I did like how he used the clue that he was like, no one hired me. I just got an envelope with cash. And a news clipping. Yeah. So and it happened after the murder.
Yeah. So he was,
or after the suicide was announced or whatever, right? So Ransom, knows or thinks he knows the cause of death.
Yes.
But the cause of death is being said it's suicide. So and he's like, no, it's supposed to be a murder.
Yeah. So Ransom was trying to set up the murder to blame to Marta because he wanted her to not get the inheritance because he had found out that the family was written out of the will and it was all going to her. Mm-hmm. So he had set that up, but then he didn't anticipate that Harlan was going to make it look like a suicide.
Yes.
So then he anonymously hired
Benoit Blanc,
Kentucky Fried Daniel Craig to investigate. Yeah. And he took the random cash and article because he was like, oh, it's a mystery within a mystery, like a donut.
Yeah. Yes.
And so the whole movie until the very end, you don't know who hired him either.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of cool. I was like, is it Jamie Lee Curtis? Like,
I thought for some reason it would have been like Christopher Plummer had set it up like with his lawyer, that he's just like, send this guy and like just and so then it's like beyond the grave he hired him or something like that kind of thing. That's what I was thinking the whole time.
Oh yeah, I was it's interesting
because it seemed like it would be something he would do in his convoluted plots. Right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then when he figured out that he was hired by Ransom, then it all like clicked into place.
Yeah. Because again, yeah, like Ransom needed it to be shown to be a murder.
Yeah.
So Marta would take the blame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the part of the clue was that the alt-right troll had heard something like "will" and like "you'll regret this," or something like that. Yeah. From the bathroom where he was masturbating.
I like how he brings that back up. Yeah. What did the masturbating child through you? Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, there was a lot to like and enjoy in the movie, and
oh yeah, I would totally recommend it.
Here was my thought though about the movie, which I thought was kind of.
What did you hate?
No. This is
everything.
No, I actually didn't hate anything. I don't think.
You
really.
didn't think there was enough casino planets.
There was definitely not enough Casino Planet. Not enough Daniel Craig doing his accent. No, like I said, I really liked how it was inverted, and Marta was our protagonist and not Daniel Craig.
Yeah,
it would make for a really cool, different take on it. No, I was. So this is aside from the movie, because I saw it. It was quite empty in my theater. It's a $40 million movie. And it made me think of just like we've been hearing this talk from like Scorsese and other people and all these things, how it's like movies are too much like rides and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I can kind of see it because people now have better sound systems, better TVs at home, and you can control the viewing experience. And you're not in there with some anonymous rando who could be eating chips beside you and then you just want to murder. Right?
That's fair, yeah.
So it's like there's no cause to go see a movie like this in the theater versus going to see Avengers Infinity War or Avengers Endgame, because in Endgame you're going to want the big screen and the big sound.
Yeah.
In a movie like this, while an enjoyable movie, there's no, like, there's some good visuals, but there's no, like, oh my god, I had to see this in the theater. Oh my god. So I was just like, I can almost see where that death of cinema is occurring.
Yeah.
Because of that, because of these bigger experience.
When did you go see it?
I saw it Saturday at a matinee show. So admittedly,
was it earlier matinee? Or?
It was an early matinee. Plus, because I just wanted to see an early matinee show. It was in VIP.
Okay.
So I could totally get it why it was not busy. Right.
See, I went and saw it because you saw it at a Cineplex, right?
Yeah.
I went and saw it at the Landmark.
Right.
In New West because. Okay, here's a mini rant. I know you like Cineplex. You're a Cineplex. We used to work for the company.
Yeah.
Cineplex, to go see, like, a 4 o'clock show was going to be, like, $19 a ticket because they only had 3D available.
Really? For this movie?
Yeah.
Oh. I didn't even think there was a 3D showing of this movie.
But $19, and I was taking my brother, and I'm like, that's $40 to go see a movie.
Yeah, no, it's...
Like, I don't know, I sound like a grandma here, but that just seems very expensive to me.
That is crazy because a VIP ticket's only $25.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Well, then that would have been $50 for me to
Oh, no, but I'm just saying, like, comparative pricing, like, that it doesn't make sense.
That's a lot of money to spend for 2 hours.
Sure.
So I went to the Landmark Theater for a 4 o'clock show, because that's still matinee, and it was $10.
Right.
And all of their seats are like leather Easy Boy recliners that recline all the way if you want to take a nap. And you can pick your seats.
Yeah.
Like, I don't...
Assigned seating is total a win.
It's assigned, and they show less ads.
Love that.
I got, like, 2 ads and, like, 3 trailers for this.
It's not bad.
Yeah. So anyways, I really prefer Landmark Cinema in New West.
Fair. That's
so plug for them. Not a sponsor.
Yeah.
Just a fan. But we went to the 4 o'clock show on the Thursday, so the day after it came out, and it was about 3/4 full.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I don't know how well it'll do and all that kind of stuff. I just was like...
I think it'll do mediocre.
I think so as well, and that's fine. Like a movie like this, like I said, $40 million budget.
They must know that it's going to do mediocre.
Yeah, $40 million budget, you know, usually double for all their other costs. So say it's cost $80 million to put this out. And I think when I looked yesterday, it had almost approached $25 million.
Okay.
So it's like, you know, give it some time. No, but like not every movie's going to smash it out of the box office, considering it's going up against Frozen 2.
You know.
And etc.
Oh, yeah.
So
I could see this movie doing very well on television.
Yeah, like on a streaming service and stuff like that?
Well, no, I mean like showing it at like 8 o'clock on a Sunday or something. Right. I think that they'll make all their money that way.
Well, I think, and I don't know, I mean... I was looking at the the future lineup in December.
What's coming out?
There's not much that's coming out.
Star Wars?
There's Star Wars. There's 21 Bridges, which could be interesting.
What's that?
It's that cop movie about Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther in New York, and he's all like, I gotta find these killers, but then there's things going on in the background and etc.
Yeah.
Looks alright. And basically, there's 1917, I think, which comes out.
What's that?
It's that World War I movie.
Oh, I don't want to see that at all.
I'm minorly interested because I don't think there's anything else. There's no movie, like, and that's what it made me think about last year with, like, The Bad Times at El Royale. Like, this movie is not that, where it was like this movie that came out of nowhere and it was just like, this was one of the best movies I've seen, right? Like,
yeah, actually, I was thinking a lot about El Royale as well, because I went and saw that with Peter too.
Yeah.
And they were both enjoyable, but El Royale knocked my socks off.
Yeah, it was a better movie than this movie. But.
And this movie was not crap. Like, it was good, but it didn't blow me away.
I like I said, there was a lot I liked about it, but it was no...
It was no Disney's Hercules.
It's no Disney's Hercules or Frozen 2. So I don't know, I just thought it was kind of interesting that it was like, just that thought came into mind when I was leaving the theater, that I was just like...
Do you think they put it out the same week as Frozen 2 because they're like, parents can drop their kids off at Frozen 2 and then go watch Knives Out?
Yeah, or it gives an alternative to people who want to go to the theater but don't want to go see Frozen 2.
Sure.
Right? Be like, let's go see something more adult-oriented. Even though I think this rated was, like, pretty low. It's gotta be, like, PG-13 at the most, because not much swearing.
There's the one scene where he cuts his throat.
Very quick cut.
Yeah.
Like,
very quick.
Like, edited away from, not
yeah.
And also quick how he cuts himself. But it's like, very little swearing, very little gore, no sex.
No nudity.
Minor drug use, but in Canada... That's fine. In America, I'd be rated R for that.
Oh, because
they smoke some pot.
I was like, do you mean the morphine?
Well, I think it was morphine.
Yeah.
But they smoke some pot. So immediately rated R.
Smoke the pot.
Yeah, I know. They take like one puff and then throw it away because it's terrible.
Like,
but yeah, like, so, I don't know. Like I said, it was kind of like, it could be, I think it's almost like an all audience.
And then Walt's like, were you smoking grass? And I was like...
Shows he's an out-of-touch weirdo.
Okay, boomer.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Anything else?
I don't have much to say on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it, and I think people should go watch it because it's nice to have an original movie.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
I support Jamie Lee Curtis.
Sure, and I was gonna say, standout scene, of course, was at least for me, I think, was when he's interviewing Marta, and then he like flips the coin, and then they quick cut to then we get the whole reveal of everything she did that night and how it all fit into everyone else's versions of the events. I think that was this, for me anyway, a good standout, because it's like...
I liked the scene with Martin and Walt and Marta in the hallway.
That was a great
I thought that was like, just the close-up of him like
cane.
holding his cane and like the thumping of it on the ground was like, it was very like intense and intimidating.
It was.
And I also... Anytime, like, the whole family was in the room.
Sure.
They did family dynamics really well.
Yeah.
And it was just really well done, right?
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Go watch it.
I think, we've praised it enough that...
If you don't, you're a doo-doo head. No, I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry, listeners. All 5 of you are really nice.
Yeah, well, and like I said, seems like, there's like that dichotomy, because it's like, it was good, I enjoyed it, but there's no, like, you have to see it in a theater, you know what I mean?
Oh, no, you could wait till it's on Netflix or Prime or whatever.
Wherever it's going to be.
Crave, whatever, Disney Plus.
Disney Plus, HBO Max, or whatever it's going to be on. But, like, that's kind of... not too bad, but it's also like, I did enjoy seeing it in theater. I enjoy going to the movies. So.
I like going to the movies.
Yeah, me too. So it's like, I don't know, like I said, it just, like, that thought came into my brain just because of that Scorsese thing recently where he's all like, these aren't real movies, they're carnival rides, and it's like, yeah, that's fine. They can both.
You know what?
Both things
you
can exist.
Watch both.
Yeah. Both can exist. Like,
and I'm pretty sure, like, if you go watch, like, musicals from the 40s.
Sure.
They're carnival rides too.
Yeah, and like it's things like big action blockbusters and etc. Those are just like carnival rides, but it's like you can have your carnival ride and you can have your serious gangster movie or your serious drama piece that always wins the Oscar. You know, like it's...
You can have your Oscar bait.
You can have your Oscar bait, and that's fine, right? Like there's nothing stopping these things from existing. I think it's just more like the resources that get allocated, especially now that Disney owns 75% of like the media out there, that it's like, I can understand it being difficult to get those made. Like,
you can also like what you like. You can like popular things. It's not a big deal.
Sure.
It's not, you know what? We're not in the 90s anymore. You don't have to only like indie stuff. I give you permission to like popular things.
Like Star Wars The Last Jedi.
Yes, it's so good. It could have been good. It should have been good.
Yes, it should have.
On a side note, I was reading this like article, I guess, where it was talking about like, I don't know, self-care and like or things people should try. And one of the things was watching a movie alone in the theater. And I'm like, is that a thing that people don't do? Because I go to movies by myself all the time. Is that a weird thing?
I don't know, because, again, this is something I've been doing since high school.
Yeah.
Going to movies by myself, so I don't...
Like, going to movies and eating by myself are, like, two of my favorite things to do.
Yeah.
Like, going to a restaurant by myself where I'm like, oh, I can just, you know, do whatever, read a book, or...
I think in the past it might have been people who were like, but I think people realize now, especially, I think... Like as I was saying, it all depends on, I think, where you live. Because some places, like, I always read stories about audiences, like, yelling or doing things where I'm like, no, man, you're just supposed to sit down, chill, and enjoy the movie. Yeah. And you don't need to be with someone else to do that, right? Like, if you're there with some friends, you can talk about it after the movie. Cool.
Yeah.
Right? But, like, while you're there watching the movie...
You don't need to...
Yeah, you're just supposed to be watching the movie.
Yeah, like, it really does... It's never bothered me, and I'm like, I just... didn't. It was one of those things where I'm like, I guess it kind of makes sense that people might not want to be seen alone in public.
Yeah. So.
But it's never been like an issue for me. So it's okay. Listen, if you're listening, drop us a line and tell us if you watch movies by yourself, or if you don't.
Yeah. I think it was more.
Send us a DM.
I think it's.
Don't send us dick pics.
Yeah, I think it's just something that. It all depends, like... Yeah. Okay. Whenever I'm going to see a movie, I was just like, if someone was around, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to see this movie. People would be like, oh, I'll go. And cool. If no one was around, I just went and saw the movie. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I really want to see that, so I just go see it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, this concludes my TED Talk. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Did you enjoy the movie? Yes.
Yeah.
Do you recommend people watch it?
I do.
Netflix?
Well, and that's right.
On an airplane?
if you feel like going out to the theater, this is a good option. You won't be disappointed by it, but waiting to watch it another time, you won't be disappointed in that either, right?
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay, so you can find us everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and sometimes I even post to them.
Excellent.
It's Tome of Uselessness. Just find it.
Yeah.
We also have a website, tomeofuselessness.com, and you can Gmail us. I feel dirty.
Yeah, it's just email. That's still at the moment. They don't own that yet. But
Gmail.
tomeofuselessness@gmail.com.
Yes, we would love to hear from you. You can give us suggestions. You can tell us we're dumb. You
can
give us corrections if we've made mistakes.
Which I'm sure we have.
Yep.
Actually, I think I realized I made a mistake.
Ooh.
In our interview with the Vampire episode, or Vampire Chronicles ones. Turns out Kirsten Dunst didn't win an Oscar for that role.
Oh, she didn't?
Yeah, I'm thinking this is some sort of Mandela effect here, because I always thought she did. But she won a Golden Globe, I think, for it.
You know, I thought she did because you keep telling me that.
I know, that's right. So that was a definite error.
Was she nominated?
I can't remember now. I remember looking it up, and then I was like, oh, she didn't win for that. I for some reason thought, but she won... I think it was a Golden Globe, or was nominated for a Golden Globe or something like that.
All right.
So she was at least nominated for the role.
Teen Choice Award.
But just not, MTV's. Best Kiss with Brad Pitt. Oh, weird.
Oh, oh no, MTV, don't.
Yeah.
No. Steamiest on screen. No.
No, that's not good.
Yucky.
But anyway, so like I said, I realized, I was like, oh, because I'm pretty sure I did say that she did.
Huh.
Because I always thought she did.
Well, you're a liar. No one can trust you anymore.
I'm correcting my mistake.
No. You're just admitting to being a liar.
Fair enough.
All right, let's wrap this up.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye.